All right, we're back with another Tennessee Titans draft pick breakdown video. This time it's running back Hassan Haskins out of Michigan. Titans took a power back. I think this is one of few times that they actually just stayed true to what they want out of a back, because other running backs they've taken, like Kalfani Muhammad and Darrington Evans, they tried to find that dual back and they said to hell with it. We're just going to go with the big back that is, I'm not going to say similar to Derrick Henry because I don't think it's close, but a big back that's physical, has some special teams value, and we're just going to go with what we believe in. And, I think it's funny because over the years, the Titans have done that, and players that I would have chosen are like players like Kylan Hill, who's had some success with the Packers in the preseason. He's only a second-year player. This is coming into a second year. And then guys like Antonio Gibson, who obviously fits what they were trying to do, but they didn't get him. But I find that funny because they're like, to hell with it. We're just going to take, Haskins. So very interesting prospect, I will say, from the perspective of, for one, an amazing stat that he never fumbled, right? 476 touches and never fumbled in college. He loves to hurdle defenders. He started as a linebacker, and he plays special teams as he can block, he can tackle, he's tough. And it just, as far as a football player, the Titans drafted a great football player. Now, when it comes to actually being a running back, I think short yardage, he can get it done. He can have these, bursts of runs of maybe, 10, 20 yards max. I don't think he has great burst or breakaway speed, but I think he can be a bruiser. I like the profile in terms of a pure football player with a good mentality. But like I said, this is the good, the bad, and the ugly. But I don't see a high ceiling. He has a low ceiling and a low floor. Most would say a high floor, but okay, let's just say he just becomes a special teams ace in the league. I guess that's a high floor because you got something of value, but you drafted a running back, though. You want him to be a running back. I'm doing a separate video of my draft picks of who I would have taken. And it's not to like combat what they did. And I know that's the energy of it sometimes, but it's really just, my viewpoint. If drafting is nothing more than going through the process. I watch film just like everybody else. I go through data analytics. I do my best to get the psyche and mentality of these players. I do my best to get the medical checkups of these players. So if drafting is nothing more than on draft day, the 3 days, selecting a player, over the past decade, I've been one of the best. It's nothing more than selecting a player with your allotted pick. Think about the draft. We hype it up to be this glamorous thing, televised, commercialized, monetized, but at the end of the day, all it is you have pick 100 this year. You have so-and-so minutes to make it. Select a player. Think about that. It used to be non-televised. It was just people making picks. Over the last decade, there's been, for one, nobody documents it. If they do, they've done so bad that they wouldn't want to tell anybody. But nobody's done it as good as me. And if it's nothing more than selecting a player, it's been a fun journey. But back to Hassan Haskins, he's a ball player, a ball player. That's what you're getting, a tough physical ball player, special teams contributor, a guy that should protect the football. We had a guy in Darrington Evans who had 482 carries and only one fumble. And, I think he fumbled a few times in his Titans career and a lot during practice and training camp. So But I do think, to preface that, I do think Darrington Evans' lack of fumbles were due to, I guess he had a good pocket, to carry the ball, but it was more so because he ran away from everybody. With Hassan Haskins, he's in constant contact. I think he has better ball security awareness through contact. So that being said, I think the Titans got a solid player, not necessarily a phenomenal running back, but got a solid football player who's going to be good in short yardage and special team occasions.